I was not interested in this bag until I saw it in this particular color in this specific leather. This is the Balenciaga Mini Rodeo. I get it. If you don't want to see anything or hear anything about this brand, then no problem, just click off. But if you're interested to hear more about this bag, specifically this leather, then stay tuned. Hey everybody, I'm Eva. Thanks for joining along on this video. So I want to tell you about this leather specifically. I know this bag has been out for a while in terms of the general style and design of the Rodeo bag. I noticed it. I was like, that's an interesting design concept, but I was not even thinking remotely about purchasing one for me until I saw this leather. Shout out to Petite Impact for showing it on her video, and when I saw the thumbnail, I was like, whoa. What is that? Why am I interested in this leather? Well, I have some kind of fascination with the Hermes Barenia leather, specifically the Barenia Fauve in the color Fauve. I'm interested in that leather. It's a heritage leather. It's used to make their saddles. It has color variations. I don't know why I'm interested in it, because it's not a very stable leather in terms of it will change color over time. It will get marks over time, but I'm just drawn to it. As an example, I'll show you this bag that I've got saved from Fashion File. I would never realistically actually pay Hermes prices for Barenia leather. So when I saw this, I knew that this for me was going to be my equivalent to the Barenia leather from Hermes. I mean, I know it's not Hermes. I know all those things. I know it's not exactly the same, but it has so many of the same characteristics. This is called Cowboy leather from Balenciaga. It is vegetable tanned and it is lambskin, and it comes distressed. So maybe you can see on camera that the edges are a little bit different. They're a little bit lighter. They're a little bit scuffed up. There's already some scuffs on the bottom. It came that way out of the box. It has the edges here that curve up on the flap, but they're not curved. They're intentionally creased to give the curved, worn effect. I just love the color variation in this leather and how it is going to patina and change over time. And the feel of this, when you touch it with your hands, it is really, really amazing. And not only the feel, but the smell. It smells like when you go into a posh furniture store and they have one of those very expensive, high quality couches. It has that same smell to it and feel. It's just really, really special in my opinion. I mean, I'm saying special, other people may say impractical, but I get it. So here's an example to show you the contrast. So this is my Loewe gate bag, and this leather is very similar to the Togo leather on my Birkin. It's very beautiful, very high quality, but you see how it's like a uniform color? And so when you look at the difference here, you can see the color variation. And you can also see that this Balenciaga bag actually reflects the light. It has a more shiny appearance. So that it's a smooth feel. It has some shine to it in terms of like a patina look, but also the variation in color I love so much. So yes, I do think it's quite special. And now let's talk about the size. So this is the mini size. This Cowboy leather, at the time I'm filming anyway, also comes out in the medium size. And when I watch videos, a lot of people talk about the drape of this front pocket, which I'll show you here in a minute. I know that looks really cool, but that's not the main reason why I was interested in the bag. I wanted to wear it closed like this because I thought it kind of gave a similar appearance to a Kelly. It's almost the same size as a mini Kelly. Well, not a mini Kelly, but a Kelly 25, I guess, to be more precise. So this is very similar, just slightly smaller at 23 centimeters in length here. When I turn it around, you can see the sides of the bag here. It does have a snap closure, and I do have it snapped at the moment. There are two pockets here on the back, which are too small for my phone. I'll show you what else I've got in here to use for the back pockets. And as you can see, it has a top handle. I wanted to point out the placement of the top handle is actually purposefully angled. It's not square center here on the top flap. It's back a little bit, and the handle actually angles back as well. But the handle is flexible. So of course it can stand up straight like this, and you can even move it around a little bit, you know, when you're getting into the bag. The top of the handle here is really beautiful and soft. I know the sun's coming in on me now, but I did want to mention that this bag has contrast stitching, which I think is really beautiful. So it's along the back here and along the front flap and on the handle. It's really nice detail. I'm going to show you how I've got it packed up, but then I'm going to give you my initial first impressions of pros and cons. This is not an unboxing. I've already used the bag a couple of times. I've had it for several days, so I'll let you know how I'm feeling about it here within like its first week of use, let's say. All right, so here's the turn lock. I love that it has silver hardware. That's my favorite hardware, and I think it just kind of goes along with the casual ruggedness of this bag. So when you open it up, you can see that it is leather lined, and you can see that this panel of the bag comes up a little higher here in the center. The mini doesn't have enough leather really to slouch, but I'll show you how you can create that effect if you're interested in that feature of the bag. So you can see down in here, I've got my phone in the front pocket. This is the plus size phone, so you can see how it compares to the size of the bag. All right, then I've got a pair of readers here sitting on top. I've got a stack of cards here because I'm using an alternate wallet system, which I'll share in a minute. Here's the branding on the back of the bag. And then in the back compartment, I've got my mini pochette. The packing would probably work better if I would take out all the little items. I could fit more, but I just want to be able to take that mini pochette and change it from bag to bag. So here's the internal organization. So let me now show you the back. There are two pockets here. The pockets aren't big enough for your phone, but you could put a clay in here. I've got this filled with my extra cards because over here are my most frequently used cards in my Loewe card holder. So yes, a card holder would fit in this back pocket. I normally don't put card holders in my back pocket, but this is just the right size. It's nice and secure, like it's not gonna fall out. But of course, if you wanna put your card holder in the inside of the bag, there's gonna be plenty of room for it. Here's the clochette that comes with the bag. You can see the branding, and it has these key rings that are, coming out of the key clochette. And speaking of key, I put a little extra charm here. This is a key from a closet in our basement. Our house was built in 1940, so this is definitely a vintage key. And one day I saw my boys holding this key and playing with it, and I thought to myself, if I don't get that from them, I'll never see that key again. So I grabbed it and I thought one of these days I'll make a cool bag charm. It has blunt ends, so I don't think it's going to scratch up the bag, but even if it does, it goes with the rugged look here. Okay, so now let's talk about the potential way to make that slouch effect. I'm going to close the top flap using the internal turn lock here. It's a little bit tricky to get in there and to do that, but of course it is possible. And then you're left with this part of the bag. So I don't really care for this look, and it's not slouchy enough to give that look of the larger bags. But you can just push this flap down and tuck it under the hardware and kind of give it the look of a slouch if you really love this effect on the Rodeo, but you want it in a mini size. So this is always an option. But for me, like I said earlier, I just want to close it in the traditional way here, kind of like a Kelly. I know the Kelly has the sangles and the Kelly flap doesn't curve up and all that, but I really like this look when it's combined with this leather combination. Upon my first impressions, the pros of this bag are, of course, the leather. I love the touch, the feel, the look of this leather. Like I said earlier, vegetable tanned lambskin. It is really, really something. One of the other pros is this top handle drop. The top handle feels so good in the hand. It's like soft, comfortable. It's a nice combination of being firm and flexible at the same time. And the drop. I'll show you a picture of me wearing this as a top handle bag here in the crook of my arm, and it's very comfortable to wear that way. Okay, let's talk about some potential cons. I think the strap is a con. As you can see here, it's not very wide, it's very thin, but I do like that contrast stitching. But in general, it's not my favorite strap. It comes with a knot, which I think is a very cool look. When I tried it on with a knot, it dropped at a low shoulder level, right beside my hip. But I don't like to wear shoulder bags. They always fall off my shoulders. So it's too short with the knot. It's too long without the knot. I tried to undo the knot and just make it a little bit higher here, but I couldn't get that to be just right. I'll link Petite Impact's video below. She had a solution where she put this strap through here, and I tried that and I was able to make the length just right, actually. There are 2 D-rings here. One D-ring is for the top handle, and there's a second smaller D-ring here for the strap attachments. So that was a long sidetrack there to talking about the strap. I do have a couple of more potential cons before we end the video here. One con could be the lack of the slouch. I didn't buy this bag because I wanted this slouch. I definitely wanted something that was more equivalent to a Kelly 25. So the slouch or lack thereof doesn't bother me at all, but it definitely could be a con to someone who wants a smaller bag, but with that trademark Rodeo external pocket slouch. This is not really a huge con necessarily, but the key clochette that comes with this bag is really quite long. I looped it around like 2 or 3 times to make it more like the length of the bag instead of like being longer than the bag. And then the last con to mention is the back pocket or back pockets and how small they are. If this internal stitching wasn't here and this was just a full back pocket, that would have been my preference. But I do think that using a clay or card holder back here could be a good use of space. It's just something to think about. I bought it directly from Balenciaga. I would have loved to have bought it pre-loved, but it's not been out long enough for it to be on the pre-loved market quite yet. And I didn't want to run the risk of potentially missing this because, like I said, this is my equivalent of a Kelly 25 in the Barenia color Fauve, which I've been obsessing about for quite some time now. So for me, I'm very happy that there is this alternative out there, and I've been loving it so far. If you have any questions about this bag or the leather, just leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.